West here, reporting from Houston, Texas for Climate Desk. Now, one of the biggest uncertainties in climate science right now is the role of clouds. What better way to work that part out than flying right through them? That's what NASA scientists aboard this airplane think. Welcome to NASA's biggest airborne laboratory. You're coming with us today on an 8-hour NASA flight mission.
When you read these big IPCC climate assessments, what's the biggest uncertainty? There's two, right? The role of aerosols and clouds. Clouds is probably bigger than aerosols.
That is a piece of a puzzle that right now we are missing.
You can't get the models right if you don't understand the chemistry and the process.
Now we're being told we've got to get on. The doors are about to shut, so let's go aboard. Every time you turn on the weather, every time you hear a climate change prediction, that information has to come from somewhere. And it starts by getting sucked out of the air from planes like this.
So this mission is to try to understand the emissions from the surface, so mostly biogenic emissions, so from trees and other plants.
Right now we're flying to our very first part of this experiment on the DC-8. Over Arkansas, there's a particularly pungent bouquet of emissions that scientists are interested in measuring.
Well, these emissions lead to both aerosols and to molecules that both destroy and create ozone. So these are very important things to understand for climate studies.
How it will manifest itself, it will be in more accurate and more reliable predictions.
So what we're doing is taking a series of flyovers, each at a different level of the atmosphere, scooping up those emissions, testing them, and hopefully scientists are going to see exactly what's in this column of air all the way up.
The data that we collect in one flight can keep busy 60 scientists and students for 3 years, 4 years. We're still studying data from data collected 20 years ago.
In fact, this particular mission today is its most heavily equipped in its nearly 30 years of service. Each one of these consoles here is a specially equipped scientific instrument designed to collect all sorts of different data in real time.
And this instrument here tracks the sun.
We're looking at mist chambers. They're used to strip soluble gases.
This black line is the CO2. It's about 390 ppm right now.
We're putting these filters in the bags that we've got the aerosols that we trapped out of a certain amount of air. And so we're sampling up here about 150 liters a minute.
That ultimately flows back into the operational models. It flows back into what goes on TV every day.
Anyway, I got to get this sample going.
You do it. It's a busy man at work. We can't let him rest. Well, get this. We've just spent 2 hours crisscrossing this one cloud formation. In, back out again, back in again.
Then they grow, and we track them as long as we can, and then we let it go.
Even one cloud can hold a host of answers to the mysteries of climate change.
The patterns of, where the clouds are, what type of clouds we see, what kind of weather systems they're associated with it, that'll all be shifting in a shifting climate, in a world with climate change.
Then the big spark is when we actually get the meat on the grill. And then it will be some time to process it.
Hey, what do you say? It's Monday morning, and welcome to the Bill Press Show. This Monday, July 14, Bastille Day. How about it? Another day to celebrate, and a lot of celebrating after the big World Cup game yesterday. Hope you had a great weekend. We're able to kick back, relax, and watch a lot of World Cup Saturday. Netherlands defeating Brazil. Brazil, host country, coming in fourth. They weren't happy with that at all. And then Sunday's game, the big game yesterday, the championship game with Angela Merkel. They're in the stadium watching Germany defeat Argentina 1-0. It was a great game, of course, went into overtime. First time ever that a European team has crossed the Atlantic and brought the World Cup home. A game watched by an estimated over 1 billion people. 1 billion people worldwide who said soccer isn't a great spectator sport. Here in Washington, Congress comes back in town this week. The big agenda item, of course, remains the border. President Obama's request for $3.7 billion in supplemental funding to deal with problems at the border. Republicans having a harder and harder time trying to figure out what to do with this. They cannot continue to attack President Obama for doing nothing about the border and then refuse to give him the resources necessary to fix the problem. A lot of buzz this morning about Elizabeth Warren hitting the campaign trail. She says she's not a candidate in 2016, but she's running around the country supporting candidates, raising money for candidates. It certainly looks like she might be thinking about something in 2016. And big news for Cleveland. Yeah, they got the Republican convention in 2016. So what? The big news is LeBron James is coming home, and Cleveland has forgiven him for abandoning them a couple of years ago. All of that coming up on today's Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 866-55-PRESS. Good to have you with us.
This is the Bill Press Show.
I have run these canyons for 6 million years. I have traveled from the Rocky Mountains to the deserts, through scorching heat and freezing cold, from the land of the dinosaurs to fields of food.
I lend my hand to 7 states, 2 countries, 9 national parks,
and 36 million people across an arid West.
I am not the strongest or the largest, but I am the hardest working.
People love me.
My playfulness,
My beauty,
my power,
my life. But I don't think I can offer any more.
I am tired.
I am tired,
tapped,
and tied. Of the hundreds of major rivers in the world, I am one of the few who no longer kisses the sea.
Battles to harness my soul have been won and lost. Use me wisely, and I will sustain you.
Use me like you have, and I will break. My name
is
Red. The Grand River Red. The American Nile.
The Canyon Maker. I am the Colorado River.
And I am the most endangered river in America.
Final, and then tell the camera the final call.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
World champions, Germany over Argentina. Hey, what do you say? Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. On a big Monday morning, July 14. So good to see you today, and thank you for joining us here. It's the Bill Press Show, coming to you live from our nation's capital and booming out to you all across this great land of ours in several different ways. Number one, on your local progressive talk radio station. Thank you for being there for us, tuning in.